Now, are you ready to dive into some specific examples of conversation starters that can really help you make those connections?
Yes, please. Hit me with your best shot.
Okay, let's do it. Okay, so let's start with a few that are great for work or social gatherings. How about this one? Speaking of that, have you heard about related topic?
Oh, I like that. It's a really smooth way to transition between subjects, and keep the conversation going.
Exactly. It builds on what you were just talking about. And if you want to share a bit about yourself, you could try something like, that reminds me of when I kind of work about it. Personal experience. What about you?
I see. So you're kind of subtly revealing something about yourself while also inviting them to share their own experiences.
Exactly. And it creates that back and forth that keeps the conversation engaging.
Right. It's not just me talking at them. It's a shared experience.
Exactly.
Right.
Okay, so what about those times when you want to learn more about someone's opinions? Get a little deeper.
Oh, yeah. I'm always interested in hearing different perspectives. What do you suggest?
Well, something as simple as, by the way, do you have any thoughts on a new topic? Can be really effective.
That's a good one. It's straightforward, but it shows that you value their opinion.
Exactly. You're inviting them to share their insights, and it could be about anything, really. Current events, a book they've read, a movie they've seen.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of current events, you could say something like, I recently read about news event. Have you heard about it?
Perfect. It's a natural way to start a conversation, see if they're up on what's happening in the world, and maybe even spark a debate.
A friendly debate, of course. Okay, so we've covered some good ones for work and current events.
Yeah.
But what about more relaxed settings? A party or a social gathering.
Our source material's got us covered there too. How about, on a different note, what are your hobbies? It's a classic icebreaker.
Classic for a reason. I love talking about hobbies. It's such a great way to learn about someone's passions, what they enjoy doing in their free time.
Exactly. And it often leads to really interesting conversations.
Totally. And sometimes those hobbies can even lead to real-life connections,
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're a rock climber. Me too. We should go climbing sometime.
It's awesome. It's all about finding those common interests. All right, so let's say you're at a new cafe or restaurant. You could try something like, this place is really nice. Do you come here often?
Well, that's a good one. It's simple, but it starts a conversation about the shared environment. You're both experiencing the same thing, so it's a natural starting point.
Right, and you can kind of build from there. Like, what's your favorite thing on the menu? Or, I've never been here before. What do you recommend?
Oh, that's smart. It's like you're getting insider tips. Okay, what about if you've just come back from a trip?
Oh, that's a great one. You could say, I just got back from place. Have you ever been there?
Oh yeah, travel.
Yeah.
People love to hear about travel. It's always so interesting to hear about other people's experiences and adventures.
Right. And it might turn out that they've been there too, or they've always wanted to go. Boom! Instant connection.
Exactly. Shared wanderlust. All right, so let's say you're meeting someone through a mutual friend. How do you break the ice in that situation?
You could try... I was talking to a mutual friend the other day and they mentioned you.
Oh, that's good. It establishes a connection right away, and it shows that you have something in common.
Right. And you can ask follow-up questions like, how do you know a mutual friend? Or, what did they tell you about me?
Yeah, I like that. It's playful, and it keeps the conversation going. And if all else fails, you can always fall back on the universal conversation starters. Movies, books, music.
Yeah, those are always good go-tos, like, seen any good movies lately? Or, what kind of music are you into?
Or, what do you read these days? Everyone's got something to say about those topics.
Absolutely. They're great for finding common ground and discovering shared interests. Okay, so we've talked about those initial conversation starters, but how do you, take things to the next level? How do you have a more meaningful conversation?
Yeah, how do we go beyond the small talk and really connect with someone?
That's where open-ended questions come in.
Open-ended questions. Ooh, this sounds interesting.
These are questions that can't be answered with a simple yes or no. They encourage the other person to share their experiences, their insights, their perspectives.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Give me some examples.
Okay, so instead of asking, what do you do, which usually gets you a one-word answer, try something like, what inspired you to choose your current profession?
Wow, that's a much deeper question. It's like you're asking them to tell you their story, their journey.
Exactly. You're inviting them to open up and share something meaningful. Or you could ask, what was your experience like when you experienced...
Well, that's good. It's personal, but it also gives them the opportunity to share something specific.
Right. And don't forget about those hobbies. Instead of just asking, what are your hobbies? You could try, what do you enjoy most about your hobby?
I love that. It's like you're asking them to share their passion, what brings them joy.
Exactly. And when it comes to personal opinions, instead of asking, How do you feel about topic? Gray. What are your thoughts on topic?
Okay, I see the difference. It's inviting a more nuanced and thoughtful response, not just a knee-jerk reaction.
Right. You're asking them to really think about it and articulate their perspective. These kinds of open-ended questions can lead to some really amazing conversations.
I'm excited to try these out. It's like I'm leveling up my conversation game.
You are, but I think it's important to remember that it takes practice to feel comfortable using these kinds of questions. You know, it's a skill that you develop over time.
Yeah, it's like anything else. The more you do it, the better you get at it.
Exactly. And there are so many resources out there that can help you along the way. Have you ever checked out UncleV's YouTube channel?
I've heard of him. He's got some great stuff, right?
He does. He's got this really cool series called Road to Native Speaker series, and it's all about helping people sound more natural and fluent in English.
Oh, that sounds perfect for our listeners.
It is. He breaks down complex language concepts in a way that's easy to understand and really engaging.
That's awesome. I'll definitely have to check that out. Oh, speaking of resources, we have some exciting news.
We do. We're developing an AI-powered lesson that's going to personalize your language learning experience.
Whoa, AI-powered. Tell me more. This sounds next level.
Well, imagine a lesson that adapts to your individual learning style and pace. It'll give you targeted feedback and guidance every step of the way. It's like having a personal language tutor, but, you know, AI-powered.
That's incredible. It's like the future of language learning.
It is. We're still in the early stages of development, but stay tuned for updates. We'll be sharing more information as soon as we can.
I can't wait. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground today, from basic greetings to these super cool open-ended questions. But here's the thing, starting a conversation is only half the battle, right? What about those responses? How do we show that we're actively listening and engaged in the conversation?
That's a great point, and that's exactly what our next deep dive is all about. We're going to be exploring the art of responding to greetings and conversation starters in a way that shows empathy, affirms the other person, and keeps that conversation flowing smoothly.
Yes. Responding well is so important. It shows that you're actually present and invested in the conversation.
Yeah.
Not just waiting for your turn to talk.
Absolutely. It's all about building those genuine connections, one conversation at a time. It's true, responding well is just as crucial as starting the conversation. It really shows you're engaged and helps build that rapport like we were talking about.
Okay, so let's get into it, the art of responding. I'm ready to level up my conversation skills even more.
Awesome. So let's go back to those basic greetings for a sec. Imagine someone says, "Good morning, how are you today?"
Well, my usual go-to is, "Good morning, I'm doing well, thanks, how about you?" Is that like hitting the right notes?
That's a fantastic response. You acknowledged their greeting, you shared a bit about yourself, and then you turned it back to them, kept the conversation going.
So even with a simple greeting, there's a chance to build a connection.
Exactly.
Well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into English greetings and conversation starters. We hope you've learned some useful tips and tricks, and that you're feeling inspired to put them into practice.
Yeah, and remember, the journey to fluency is always going. Just keep practicing, keep learning, and most importantly, keep connecting with others. Oh, and don't forget to check out those awesome resources we mentioned, like UncleV's Road to Native Speaker series on YouTube, and stay tuned for updates on that amazing AI-powered lesson we're developing.
Until next time, happy conversing, everyone.